Here I stand now, here I stand, knocking at your door. Knocking, 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 knocking like I did before. Here I stand now, knocking at your door.
Good day to you. Seeking a thread, about to drop a serious amount of records on you. These are all going to be new records in my life here that are all new reissues, that kind of thing. And I wanted to put them all in one video. And a lot of them, I have to say, I'm still kind of processing. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit here. Still kind of processing a lot of them, so I will definitely have some I'll have less or more to say about, but some I'll have more to say about than others. But we're listening to June of '44. Why? Well, last Sunday, me and 3 friends, drove down an express trip to Philly and saw them play at a great club called Johnny Brenda's, which is just a fantastic show. Not that crowded, but a good crowd, but not like completely sold out or anything. Great show. I love this band. I haven't owned this one. This is 4 Great Points from '98. If you don't know, it's on Quarterstick, by the way. If you don't know June 44, coming out of the Louisville scene, Jeff Muller was in Rodan, and includes Sean Meadows guitar and vocals, Fred Erskine bass, and Doug Shafran drums. All of them sort of going into other things. Jeff Muller as well. Yeah, sort of coming from the post-hardcore thing and bit of post-rock. Very proficient guitarists, but doing their own kind of thing. Really working well off each other. The songs all have sort of unique passages and some yelling vocals in the vein of Slint. I just love this band. Recorded by Bob Weston from '98. It's, like I said, 4 Great Points. I had the first two, but did not have this one. I believe they played this track too, of Information and Belief. So we're gonna listen to that. Bought this awesome hoodie. Let's get into it. Before I do, great catching up as always. Some new channels I've been checking out. New channels I've been aware of, but just not totally completely watching them, regularly. Hackman 77. Great to see Phil That Man, Johan bringing back a couple of videos. Stunty's live streams have been amazing. Really well done. Really good stuff. Stuff from here that you might will find from those streams. And I want to also mention the VC article in Goldmine magazine by Tone Scott. Thank you, Tone, for including me in that. I showed my original copy of Debris Static Disposal. And it was a cool thing to see the VC getting some love and mentions in Goldmine. I think it deserves to be there. And thank you, Tone, for doing that. I'll link to that article below. I'll link to his video about it below. It sounds like there'll be more to come from Tone about the VC in Goldmine. So, let's get into it. This is a brand new record. Like some of these I've had for a couple of months. This I just got. This lighting is a little... Roots from the Record Smith. Lloyd Slim Productions 73 to 76. Pretty obscure reggae producer. Never been compiled at all, which was cool. This is on the Digikiller label. Featuring tracks by Ronnie Davis, Tapazuki, Cornel Campbell, Iroy, the Heptones. I love this Ronnie Davis track, Ja Ja Jehovah. Awesome, awesome song. And yeah, just a completely unheralded producer. Not a very large discography, but this is good. There's some sort of traditional roots, but then the dub tracks in here are really pretty killer, I have to say. Yeah, take a look for this record. You know, it's not on a label you see producing, you know, a lot of reggae from roots reggae from this era, but maybe you come across that. Roots from the Record Smith, technically a compilation of 45s by Lloyd Smith, or Lloydie Slim, I should say.
Dread, no, not the dread, no, Jaja dread, no, not the dread. Look how long we've been slaves.
Here's one I've only had a chance to spin this like once or twice, but it is beautiful. This is Raum, R-A-U-M, Daughter, right, is the name of the title. This is Liz Harris with Ila Samed, right? Or is it Jeffrey Cantu Ledesma? This sold out super quick. It was sold on the Yellow Electric label. It is Ledesma. All of Liz Harris's records always go quick. There's the little insert. Recorded in 2021. Liz Harris of Grouper, Jeffrey Cantu Ledesma of the Root Strata label. I have a few of his records too. This is gorgeous stuff, and just beautiful art, typical of Liz Harris stuff. So this one includes guitar work, which is great, and tons of atmosphere. This is a double LP on the Yellow Electric label. Anything Liz Harris does, I'm a fan, for the most part. Some of it's better than others. Stunty just showed the Mirroring record. With what's her Jess from the Tiny Vipers, and so it caused me to think about that record a little bit. I didn't actually pull it. I have it. I think it's like right behind me actually. It might be anyway. See if I can find it. It's tough to get behind here. Let's see. Jinjin. Maybe a tremor control. What's that? Moon Duo. Flying Saucer Attack. Might have it with the Grouper records. Anyway. Oh yeah, maybe it's over here actually. I gotta find it. There it is. Foreign Body Mirroring. This is from 2011. I bought this when it came out. It's a really solid, beautiful record. Great duo. Liz Harris just knows how to do solo records. She knows how to make her own sounds and collaborate. So next one. I only pulled one of the three, but these all came out together. I'm just going to show this one. Broadcast, an all-time favorite band. This is a tour-only CD. Mother is the Milky Way, all sort of quick fragments, released by Warp. Of course, the band stopped being a thing because Trish Keenan died in 2011, and this was originally a tour-only CD. 2009, I saw this band on this tour. The only time I saw them, they came to Irving Plaza, no, Webster Hall in New York. And it was an amazing show. I loved them. It was sort of a different experience than seeing them live, but I remember them selling this tour CD. I didn't buy it. But this is the first time on vinyl for this. Mother's the Milky Way. Also came with the Peel Sessions double LP and the more experimental compilation of all of the Microtones compilations. Those are all included too. So there was 3 different releases. And I wanted to just highlight this one because this is my favorite. Mother is the Milky Way. Little soundscapes and sort of pop confections, just classic broadcast. But a little more sort of like micro size and experimental even. So yeah, I'm a big fan of broadcast. I have all the records, so they're one of the bands I definitely would collect just about everything they do. Here's the new record by Duster, a band I've talked about. This is sort of flying under the radar. It's called Together. The last record was put out by a what was the name of the label? Some obscure label, Mud Tracks or something. But this is a Numero group new release. Is this on a color? Oh yeah, it's like a smoky clear. Great. I mean, it's sort of continuing in their vein of sort of slowcore thing. This one's got a little bit more, I don't want to say oomph. What do we got here? Oh, it's like a Numero insert. It's a little bit more immediate, I will say. Duster, it's cool to see them back making new records. I really do love this sound. It's sort of a guilty, not even guilty pleasure, but like, I'm a sucker for it. Duster Together on via the Numero group. I get to show you this part. Well, you'll see, but I got a lot of records here, so I want to go relatively fast. I kind of wanted to just do these as a live stream, but I got to get my turntables looked at. I got to look at them. Here's one that I don't think anyone's going to show. I'd be surprised if anyone showed this, but this is an interesting one. I'm always continually looking for stuff out of the New York early 80s, late 70s sort of DIY, no wave, art rock scene, and this comes from that, although it's a bit of a different spin. It's kind of tough to explain in a way. Instant this, instant that. Twinart. Twinart was like a collective of experimental art students and a group that was sort of a collective of people trying to get into making music videos, and they did start doing that. So this is all stuff that has like their, I'll have to insert one of the videos too, but all was made as music videos, sort of like really cool little weird little shorts. But it features, it's technically a compilation of all of the different artists they work with music video wise. Taste Test, Twinart, The Dance, Joe Croson, Julia Hayward, and TV Venus, and Intense Molecular Activity, all sort of one-off singles and flexies. The song Instant This, Isn't That by Taste Test is probably the most not widely known, but might be known or might have been seen. These are the two twins. But yeah, it even features little like sort of skits, mini skits that they were using to produce little mini shorts that they were licensing to different art projects and things. It's sort of a, like I said, a confusing project, but it basically is like new wave, Devo style, and post-punk. But this is them. This is the Twinart collective of producers, sort of art students, filmmakers, and musicians. And yeah, the Joe Croson record, that was a full-length record that was sort of the no-wave scene. I didn't really totally love that, but you have one of her songs on here. Poodle Paper. Yeah, it's a cool project. I suggest looking into this. It's done by the Modern Harmonic. But it does say, 2 LPs of unique female gazes into a micro scene within NYC downtown art scene through 78 to 85, as seen through the lens of a variety of feminist perspectives on new wave and true next wave sound.
Make it simple, make it quick, make it easy, make it slick. Into this, into that, into this, into that. Polyester microwave, moving cycles fit to save. Into this, into that, into this, into that. Save us time, cheat our bodies, cheat our mind. Into this, into that, into this, into that. Hey!
Here's the jazz reissue, South African jazz of Ndikho, Xaba, and the Natives. Super rare original. It's been reissued a few different times now. This is the Mississippi reissue. I think Dave has shown this. This is so good though. It really walks that line of good spiritual sounds, the avant-garde. Great insert here. I haven't really dug into this insert yet. Mississippi somehow always has pretty cheap records and always usually has nice inserts. I've just been listening to this, just like not even made it through the whole way through. I had heard it, streamed it before. Didn't buy the previous reissue, obviously. So this was like $15, so that was awesome. I've played a little bit of this on my radio show too, so I didn't put the jazz together. I don't know what I was thinking. Here's the new Built to Spill album. A record I don't really say too much about, but I do go pretty heavy on Built to Spill. I did sell some of their later Warner Brothers records because they were worth more than they were. Like, they were worth. Sometimes when a record is worth more than you like it, you should sell it. You know, when a record's worth like $80-100 and you only like it so why keep it? But a nice album. Doug Marsh sort of returning to what he does. Nice art. The cover sucks. Really terrible cover. I do like the inner gatefold here though. I have some different promotional materials that we got at the record store, so I got all that in here. But it's classic, sort of Built to Spill. I just wanted to make people aware of it if you didn't know. This is like the first Built to Spill album in like 7 years, I think. Is this a double? No, it's a single. There's a ton of stuff in here. Just shitty artwork though. I like it. I like it. I have to hear it again. It might not be a great album for them. Did I need it? Probably not, because I think the records from their past are probably the best, but it's Doug. I like Doug. Here's a strange one, or one that's definitely under the radar. I played this on the live stream with Alex last week. MK Castagnetto, Leap Second. First and only record. This is not, I thought it was an individual, but it's actually a band with members from all over. And this is on Castleface. This is cheap if you see this. You can get new copies of this for like $10 and less. This one sort of veers into like Sun City Girls territory and experimental minimalist sort of things happening. Then there's some like good sort of drumming aspects to this. It's one of these records it keeps going in all these different directions and you sort of forget what the last thing was, but you're sort of intrigued by where it's going. Stunning. Leap Second, MK Castagnetto on Castleface. Yeah, I think there's an American, maybe an English, South American. I mean, yeah, that's like a true mix of different people in this. Yeah, not very much information about this band at all. But like I said, it has that maybe a little bit of Eno. Sun City Girls came to mind. Check that one out. Here's one I'm sure some of my fellow avant-garde listeners will know. Valentina Goncharova, Ocean, an Estonian violinist. It's originally from the late 80s. This is just beautiful drone and ambient music. It's a wonderful package too. I won't take it all out because it's quite elaborate. But Symphony for electric violin and other instruments in 10 plus parts. You have all that, and I think, right, it's all from 87 except for side D. Return to the Ocean in 2021. So that's sort of the new edition. But she's wonderful. This is an Estonian label too. And it's a numbered edition, by the way, if that means anything to you. Hidden Harmony. Released and distributed by Hidden Harmony. And Valentina Goncharova was involved in this release too. The music is a stream of consciousness in its purest form. Not an imitation of a stream as in its suggestive poetry of the 20th century, but a stream where one flow is superimposed on another. Ocean is the source of all forms that receive life. That's the concept with this. It's wholly improvisational as well. But it is sort of, drone, essentially. It's really what's happening here. Valentina Goncharova. Only played this one time through, so it's a deep listen. I really enjoyed it. This one I've been playing quite a bit, whether it was on my radio show or with the stream I played it. Cheri Night American Rituals. This is a first-time compilation of her music coming out of the Evergreen State College, Washington, sort of private press scene, art students essentially making records. There was a label that was sort of, I'm forgetting the name of the radio station, but there was a label based on that radio station, Evergreen State College, and she was one of the artists that had some work on there. This is this is like a signed art print that came with it. But if you look her up, you'll see that she had her music released on various compilations that came out at that time. Some of them are expensive, some of them are not. Here she is, and this is sort of like a Laurie Anderson sort of vocal processing, vocal sort of soundscapes, a lot that she's doing. But it's from 1979. It says here, in 79, before it became an epicenter of indie rock, Olympia, Washington was not a place that anyone considered hip. It was a dreary small town disguised as a state capital, home to various government agencies and their worker bees. I've been there, and it is weird. At night, bored teenagers cruised in muscle cars. But there was another Olympia, hidden in the woods of outskirts of town. Founded in the post-hippie idealism of the 70s, the Evergreen State College was the kind of place your high school guidance counselor didn't want you to know about. An experimental college with no grades, no fraternities, and no sports. So she was coming out of that scene in Cheri Night and creating this sort of DIY experimental music. And really good. Laurie Anderson is the closest analog I can think of on it. But this is released on the Freedom to Spend label that's been killing it with releases lately. I've been getting just about everything, actually. The Ernest Hood release coming up, the new one. Return to Neighborhoods is it called? Anyway, I'm excited for that, but I highly recommend this one, Cheri Night, American Rituals. This next one is an artist I knew about because I'm a huge fan of music out of New Zealand, but I hadn't really taken much of a plunge in her recordings until I saw the stream that Michael 45 RPM and Stunt Rock Confusion did with their upcoming release Focus. And this record has been awesome. My wife and I both love it. It'll be one of my favorites of the year. Maxine Funke, Pieces of Driftwood, on the label, once again, Disciples. Nice cover. This is actually an outtake of her early, uncompiled, a compilation of non-album material, but it plays wonderfully, and it's like quiet folk songs and then sort of Arab strap experimental stuff. Here's a hype sticker. A collection of non-album singles tracks recorded for compilations and unreleased material by the New Zealand-based singer-songwriter. Maxine Funke's music, immediate and entirely unpretentious, suggests a world in which Catherine Mansfield rubbed shoulders with Liz Harris or Vashti Bunyan growing up on the Flying Nun catalog. So she's beautiful. I love her voice. I love that you get sort of stripped down folk songs with instrumental, experimental kind of things. I'm going to be looking to check out some more of her records. And it tells you where each song comes from. The first track is interesting. It's with Alistair Galbraith, and it's for Tom Carter compilation of Deserted Village 2013. That one is the one I was really feeling like I heard that sort of glitchy Arab strap kind of like late night sort of vibe. But she goes back a few years now. That track is from 2013, so she's actually been around a little bit. But yeah, Maxine Funk. Thank you guys for that. Thank you, Stunty, for that recommendation. A good one, real good one. And the next one also was brought up on that stream, or one of those streams, but I was already into it because I've already been into this band. I haven't gotten everything, but I have a lot. And yeah, I was already scheduled to be grabbing the new Bitchin Bajas, maybe one of their best, if not best, records. Bascillators. I'm missing a couple. I had their very first 7-inch split with Mundo, but nice inner sleeves, 1 track per side, 45 RPM. This is just pure mind numb, sort of mind melt excursions, you know, giving you that sort of analog feel, very, very, very stretched out, very sort of rounded, and you know, this is beautiful music, but it's weird, but it, you know, it's experimental. This is not sort of new age, really. It dabbles in those sort of ideas, but it's coming from a more avant-garde perspective, a jazz perspective too. Certainly guess. I think it's just the two musicians. Are they even credited? Yeah, Cooper Crane. 3. Cooper Crane, Rob Fry, and Daniel Quinlivan. Recorded, mixed at Electric Audio, actually. But not recorded by Albini, looks like. Yes, that was the thing I was going to mention. The first track, Amorpha, uses Laurie Spiegel's Music Mouse software. So I guess some of Laurie Spiegel's concepts are made or used in that track. So if you're looking for a Bitchin Bajas record to jump into, I mean, Baja Fresh is awesome. Wait, no, I don't have Baja Fresh. I have Bitchatronics is awesome. The one with Bonnie Prince Billy I love. And I have one other one. The Natural Information Society with Bitchin Bajas is incredible. But Bascillators, you can't go wrong. Alright, these next two are definitely more kind of coming from the traditional new age sort of feel. I'll just show them together because they're both on the same label. Morning Trip, a label I've talked about before. Windsong by Alice Damon, originally a cassette. She was featured on the I Am the Cosmos compilation, or I Am the Center. I Am the Cosmos, like Alex Chilton, not Alex Chilton, but Chris Bell. From Vermont, homesteader and music maker. This is a little more on the delicate side, a little more sort of like femme folk. This is definitely on the new ageier side, but some beautiful textures, some really nice sounds, pretty watery and sort of, yeah, this is a little more new age, like straight new age than maybe I would even want, but love it. It talks about Joan LaBarbera, underscored by Sounds of Nature, fretless bass sounds, so you're kind of getting what I'm saying there, and Joni Mitchell vibe. So, but I dig it. Not my favorite Morning Trip record, but and then that's the thing about Morning Trip. It's usually tapes, cassettes, reissued on vinyl for the first time, so I tend to sort of give them a good look. This one's amazing. Karma Moffett, Chomolhari. Somebody showed this. Composed, performed, and recorded by Karma Moffett in '84. This might be completely archival, but this is definitely more on the avant-garde side of things. But definitely, most of the Morning Trip stuff is more on the meditative, relaxing spirit. So this is Morning Trip 14. There's Mr. Karma. Recorded in San Francisco. Oh yeah, he's definitely into the Dalai Lama and that whole sort of level of consciousness. Mystical journey to the higher plains of majestic mountains. Wildest dreams of the Americas are the facts of Tibet. So, Eastern feel. Alright, I got a couple more here. This is going to be one of my favorite records of the year. I don't know, technically this is a archival record, but it is Faust Punked, the record they made when Richard Branson from Virgin Records was like, you gotta stop destroying me, spending all my money. Well, right after Faust Tapes, which was basically given out for nothing to the UK market, they holed up in Munich in '74 and made this record and refused to sort of let anyone hear it. And apparently this got them dropped. They didn't pay for the studio time, but stole the tapes, apparently, hid them, and it's released now for the first time. And this thing is fantastic. It's one of my favorite Faust records. There's that sort of cliche about like it, it's like all the best parts of the band, but it does kind of have that. It gives you a little bit of everything. The avant-garde, the sort of percussive experimentation. There's like almost modern composer type bits on this. Just sort of their heavy, sort of like more abrasive sound that they can have. Faust. This is on the Bureau B label. It was part of the Bureau B box set, which part of me wanted to get, but I didn't need it because I have all the records. It does have unreleased material in that, and it included this. Ooh, this is dusty. How did this get so dusty? Hairy. Oh my god. It's like a dog slathered all over this thing. Anyway, I highly recommend this record. If you don't want to get the box set, this is the thing to get out of it. Those Faust records are fantastic and well worth having, so I don't even think the Faust box is available anymore, but Faust Punked. Great cover too, I like that. A lot of you have shown this. I'm going to show it real quick. Futuristic Sounds of Sun Ra on the Craft reissue label. I've always wanted this record. And it definitely gets the vibe as like the traditional Sun Ra, but he's already leaning into sort of outer space on this. There's definitely forecast for where he was going. It is definitely on the more traditional Sun Ra, more sort of palatable. The one record on Savoy from 63 was it? But what's the song? What's That or Where's Tomorrow? He definitely is starting to go into some weird terrain. And this does sound awesome. So I'm showing a Sun Ra jazz record. I'm showing a craft record. I don't think I have many crafts. I'm getting trendy. Here's another these are all reissues, by the way, if you didn't realize, or new music. The New Life Trio, an impossibly rare record on the Mustevic Sound label. Another one Stunty had mentioned. Steve Reed's label is who it is. And this is a trio with Steve Reed, David Wertman, the upright bassist, Steve Reed, and the guitarist. What's his name? I'll take it out. But this is interesting because he's playing a lot of acoustic guitar on this. But I just love... Brandon Ross is the guitarist. But I love Steve Reed. I'm all in on Steve Reed. I have I have a bunch of his records. No originals yet. But this one is probably the hardest one to get. The New Life Trio. Nice booklet. Reissued here by the Finders Keepers or Early Future. Yeah, originally on the Mustevic Sound. I haven't read this booklet yet, though. Steve Reed. Like many of you, I first heard of Steve Reed with the Kieran Hebden records, so that's true. But I've since then, when those came out, been really after Steve Reed. So David Wertman is another one that deserves mention. A couple of nice solo records, and not solo record, but him as a band leader, very very rare too. But he appears on a few different records. I just can't think of off the top of my head. Very awesome, though. This one's awesome. It's free music, without getting, too insane. Nice stuff. Nice stuff. Steve Reed, just an incredible drummer. I got much more to come in those series I've been talking up. Hope you like those. I mean, we'll see how far I can get on them. The sort of 11 attainable records. I got a reggae edition coming up, and then a couple more sort of classic indie rock. Here's two more. Mr. Bongo did this archival reissue. I don't know if anyone's shown this yet. Lars Tapscott Quintet, recorded at the same session, either the same session right at the same time as The Giant Is Awakened, an amazing record that Alex sold to me on a Flying Dutchman. But this is a completely unheard session. An album. A source from master tapes from the Flying Dutchman archives. Recorded in '69 and intended to be the follow-up to the classic Giant Is Awakened. Why it wasn't, I don't know. There's not really much information, but it's the same people. Walter Savage Jr., Arthur Blythe, Everett Brown Jr., and David Bryant. Bob Thiele producing, Eddie Brackett engineer. It's good. It's very good. I mean, it's more of that ilk. It's not quite as strong as The Giant Is Awakened, but it's... If you love that record, I don't see how this is not a no-brainer. It's just called The Quintet, by the way. Official Mr. Bongo. Good label. And the last one is a new jazz record. I've been really enjoying some of the new jazz that comes out. This is Flock. Beautiful, almost like a Miles Davis, Bitches Brew-esque. I highly recommend this for your avant-garde listeners, your sort of, spacious, very cosmic, as you can see by the cover. Very freewheeling, very has an improvised feel. Features Sarathi Korwar is the big name, Bex Birch, Donalog, Al McSween, and Tamar Osborne. Just self-titled Flock on the Strut label. I highly recommend this one. This one's like very trippy, good stuff to sort of sink into your couch on. Not, this is a one and only thing they've done. I sense we'll see more, or maybe it was just meant as like sort of a one-time gathering, but all pieces improvised by Bex Birch, Saratha Korwar. Yeah. What we have them playing? The Guild, vibraphone, shakers, bells, gongs, electronics, tabla, Fender Rhodes, Juno 60, upright piano, Roland bass synth, prepared piano, Moog. I mean, you name it. There's bass clarinet and a bunch of reeds. I mean, recorded in August 2020 in London. So, just hearing all those instruments, you kind of know what you're getting into here. Just nicely done. Mind-blowing stuff. So that's it. In this long video, I'll probably not make another giant one like that. The next new vinyl edition will be my sort of like grails. The big pieces I'm stoked about. Original pressing, so I'll show that next time. Sweet, everybody. Hope everyone's well. And I'll be back with you soon. Very soon.